Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about ventilation and spraying your activator. So you guys have probably seen a couple of videos that we've done already, and we just haven't actually had the time to shoot a video with it, but we have had it up for a little bit and still got a little bit of tweaking to do and things like that. But wanted to show you guys kind of what we installed here, mainly because we do a lot of production jobs. We do a lot of just jobs in general, as you can tell with our YouTube videos and things like that. The other thing is that, you know, spraying your activator, it is a hazardous chemical. A lot of the times whenever you're spraying one or two, it's not really a big deal. You can just spray it and then you're good to go. Of course, definitely it's always recommended to wear a mask if you're in a very closed environment or something like that, just because it is a flammable, hazardous liquid. So definitely keep that in mind. The other thing is that we actually have installed a ventilation system for the activator whenever we're spraying it. So kind of wanted to shoot a quick little video, show you guys kind of our setup. It's definitely not top of the line, like looks like $10,000 worth of stuff put in and all that, but it definitely works and it gets the job done, and that's what we mainly needed. So let's talk a little bit about it, what we've done, and then that way you can kind of see what you might need to do for ventilating if you are starting to do a lot of contract jobs or a lot of jobs just in general. It doesn't even have to be contract, but definitely keeping it to where you do have a good airflow coming around you and sucking out most of those fumes. That's definitely a big thing to make sure of. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so talk a little bit about this right here. So pretty much we was able to get this louver. All it is just a aluminum louver. It's a fixed grill louver, so that way it's non-adjustable. It does have it is rainproof, I believe, which doesn't really apply very much to us, but just by the off chance that we move our long divider here and it showers this thing with water, which has been done, as you can probably tell, it's not going to affect it. It'll literally just keep dripping all the way down. So definitely wanted to keep that in mind whenever we were searching for a louver. Next thing is pretty much we had some HVAC guys come out. They built us a plenum box that pretty much this can bolt on too. So plenum box we've got back here, and then of course with the plenum box we have some flexible duct that you can see right through here. And then so pretty much we've got one on each side. So we decided to do two, and the main reason is because if we do one right here, and let's say that I mainly spray a lot of smaller parts over here, most of my airflow is being sucked right into the middle, and so we kind of wanted to level that out and equal that out. So what we did was we added two. We have two total, and so we have one down here and one right here, and so that way it pretty much sucks all equally throughout, and it pulls from this side and this side. So in my opinion, I feel like it probably works better. It may not, I don't know, but we thought that was probably the better route to go, so that's of course what we did. We're really happy with it. It's been working really well, and it's definitely kept the fumes down, and of course ventilated everything back out into the outside instead of keeping them floating around in here or anything like that. So kind of looking at a little bit up here, you can kind of see that up in here we've got the two ducts connected to the two flexible ducts connected to the elbows, and then we just mainly made a square sheet metal box that we have fabricated out, and pretty much on the other side of that we have a shutter mounted exhaust fan. So the exhaust fan that we picked, it was just a regular 110 volt exhaust fan, nothing fancy. I want to say ours pulled about 2,000, 3,000 CFM. So a lot of CFM, but it didn't have a lot of static pressure. So it wasn't able to pull a lot of air, but it was able to move a lot of air, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, ask an engineer, they'll tell you all about it. That's another video I probably won't make, but you can look it up somewhere else. Anyways, so pretty much we're pretty happy with it. Like I said, whenever it's on, it's really quiet. We have been pretty amazed by how quiet it is, as well as it does help in preventing a lot of the overspray that we normally would have in the tank. It does help pull it all the way through here and exhaust it out the back. So a couple of things to keep in mind is that you are ventilating a hazardous material. So you need to make sure on code and regulation, city and state and all of that, if you're in the county or you don't have a municipality to worry about, then of course you're probably good. But don't take my word for it. Always check and make sure with your local state and code, just to make sure that everything is good. Like I said, for us, we've been really happy with this. We got the setup in. We are about to actually wire it back up into the control panel, so then that way all we got to do is flip a switch, maybe right next to our pump switch, so then that way we can turn our fan on, we can turn the pump on. Everything's controlled right there at the unit on the control panel. So that will be very soon that we're going to hook all that up. But let's go ahead, let's turn this on, show you guys a few things, and let you see how it runs whenever it's running. So let me go turn it on for you. So as you can probably tell, this is actually running right now. It is very quiet. Like I said, it's really nice because it is a little bit smaller fan. I believe it's about an 18-inch, 24-inch fan, somewhere around in that area. I'll have to look back up the specs on it. But anyway, smaller fan, but it does move a lot of air, which is what we wanted. So that's kind of why we went with that one right there. Even while it's running right here, there's it's very quiet, so it does make it really nice. So whenever I'm on the phone or as I'm, you know, concentrating on the dip or something like that, I don't have this humongous fan just just going at it, you know, and it's just sucking crazy amounts of air, and I can't hear anything or even stand here and try to think about something. So wanted to also show you guys what it is with the fans on and with it off. That way you can kind of see how it actually pulls everything in and all of that. So the other thing is that I haven't quite touched on is that we didn't actually mount this to the tank. So because we are always changing, we're always adapting, always trying to make everything better, we wanted to have this movable. And so the main reason is that if for whatever reason we needed to move this back out, move it in, do anything like that, we can, because whenever we have something like if we ever get a dipping arm or we get anything else, or I need back here for something, it's not actually physically mounted to the tank. So this can actually be set literally even right here or right down here or wherever we really need it. That's kind of where we can put it at. So we wanted to make sure that we always had this movable, and so that's also why we did the flex duct instead of hard piping it in. Now if you know that your tank's going to be in one spot, yeah, sure, go ahead, hard pipe it in, no big deal at all. But for us, we just wanted to make sure that we had the flexibility of that, so that's kind of why we did that. So let's turn this thing off, show you guys what it's going to look like with spraying some activator on the water without it on and then with it on. And I think you'll see that it makes a world of difference on pulling everything into here and exiting out of the building, so that way you don't have a lot of fumes pretty much circulating in your shop. Keeps your breath held. Okay, so might be a little bit hard to see trying to catch vapors floating in the air. A little bit harder to catch in the video, especially whenever it's clear. So a little bit harder to see, but I can definitely attest to before we had it, it would just go everywhere. Now that we have it, everything starts to flow that way. Now, yes, you still get a few areas that do circulate back or something like that, but the majority of it does go out the vents, which is really nice. So Other thing is if we do run out of activator, you probably know why, because somebody was sitting here trying to show you guys how it works. So, yeah. All right, guys, so hold on. Let me go turn this fan on. Okay, now, smells a lot better in here. Everything's evacuated out. Feel a lot better, definitely. So again, there's tons of ways to get the fumes out of the air, pull it out of the building, everything like that. This is just kind of a quick little system that we made. We're pretty happy with it. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. A lot of customers will put filters in the backs of them to help catch any particulates or anything like that will get sucked up into the fan itself. And so that'll definitely help out, and I definitely recommend that. Everybody's got their own unique setup. This is kind of the way that we built ours, and we're really happy with it. If you have another setup or anything like that, definitely let me know what you plan on doing, because we'd always love to hear from you and see what other ways that people are making these things, because not only is it good for just keeping it out of your actual garage or shop or area that you work with, but it's also for the safety and the health of yourself and your employees if you do have any. So definitely make sure that you have that installed and working properly, and of course up to any of the codes and guidelines and all of that for any of the rules and all of that stuff. So hopefully this has really helped you out. If you do have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. Also, if you like the video, give us a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and we're making hydrographics great again. We'll see you guys next time.